Kelly's Court is back in session. On the docket today, a multi-million-dollar lawsuit after a deadly police chase in New York. Well, police situation anyway. Watch this. The officers in this cruiser were going after a guy last summer when the cruiser slams into the guy on the street corner. All right, watch this. Now the guy's okay. Watch what he does next. It's a guy, he's wearing a white shirt. Look, see, there he runs, and he jumps onto the back of his friend's dirt bike. It's a motorcycle, and you can see the guy weaving. Look, this is the second hit by the police cruiser that rams into these guys now, and in this hit, the driver was killed. The guy who was wearing the white shirt broke his leg. And that guy in the white shirt was eventually arrested and is now filing suit against the police department, saying they were the ones who were in the wrong here. The cops say it was an accident. Joining me now, Jonna Spilbor, former prosecutor, now defense attorney, and Julia Morrow, also former prosecutor, now defense attorney. Wow. So let me just start with you on this, Jonna. I could understand accident if he hadn't just hit the guy. I mean, how do you hit him 1 second and then hit him again moments later and say, oh, I didn't know, I didn't see him?
Yeah, this is as much of an accident as if he took out his baton and started, flailing about the guy's head. He didn't even bother to slow down, Megan. You're talking about two people, no helmets, on a dirt bike. That police activity was completely unnecessary. They could have done something else to try to stop them. And let's be real, these guys weren't running over a pack of puppies or nuns. They're being a nuisance. They're violating the vehicle and traffic code. Nobody deserved to die or get seriously injured here. The police are in the wrong.
Look at this, Julia. I mean, look at this. These guys say, look,
Megan,
they were rammed down down by this police cruiser in the middle of the street for doing, basically they got the death penalty for being punks.
Okay, well, first of all, I totally disagree with that assessment of that video, okay? We don't have audio. Where's the screeching tires? That motorcycle slowed down when the second idiot jumped on the back of it, and the cop was already in mid-motion. For all we know, he was screeching on the brakes trying to stop. We don't have that from that video. We don't know why he was chasing them. And furthermore, live by the sword, die by the sword. These two guys were acting like lunatics. They were bobbing and weaving through traffic, driving the opposite way, driving up on the sidewalk. Yes, and Megan, the law says it.
Live by the sword, die by the sword. We don't put pedophiles to the death penalty. It's okay now to just kill people who are riding dirt bikes in the streets in the Bronx?
Yeah, but he didn't mean to hit them, Megan. When you're driving like that, when you're playing a dangerous game like that, where you have no helmet on, you're bobbing and weaving through traffic, driving the wrong way down lanes, you know a cop's in pursuit of you, what do you think's going to happen to you? Why didn't they pull over? They bear responsibility here. There's not going to be $1 million payday for those guys.
But there is a police policy in New York not to ram vehicles when you are in the middle of a police chase. Our policy here is you don't do that, Jonna.
And that's a pretty good policy. And why do we have it? Because people shouldn't die when they're committing petty offenses, which this was. I mean, for the life of me, I can't understand why the police officers aren't going to be charged for this, Megan, because we might not be able to hear the screeching of brakes, but just looking at the video, I don't see smoke coming from the back end of that car like they were trying to stop.
Well, and some are saying that he accelerated. Some are saying if you study the video, it looks like the police cruiser accelerated into them. And even if you could allow the stop, the hit technique that sometimes they use, could you do it on a motorcycle? I mean, certain death is likely to result. I want to show you that video. We'll decide whether the cops sped up right after the break, and we'll talk about whether they should face charges themselves. All right, so let's look at it again. We were looking at it here during the break to see whether this cop car speeds up or slows down or makes an attempt to stop. It's right after the kid's running away. He just got hit. He's running away from the cop. The cop's following.
Oh, God.
Julia?
God.
I see it slowing down, Meg. I see that cop. This is what I see. I see the cop not realizing as he's flying that the motorcycle's going to slow down to pick up this idiot who's jumping on the back. And by the time the cop realizes that the motorcycle decreased in speed, he's moving too fast. He tries to stop, and boom, he hit them. I mean, I don't think it was an intentional rundown.
Why did he hit him the first time?
Because, Megan, do we even know why these people were running from the police? Do we know that?
No, but you're not allowed to be on a dirt bike. I mean, that in and of itself is an offense. I mean, literally,
yeah,
it's not allowed.
Well, it's a traffic offense. But Megan, for all we know, and of course this will all come out in court, they could be fleeing violent felons. We don't know that. And if a cop is allowed to use deadly force, which they are under certain circumstances, trying to run down a man on foot or a man on a motorcycle obviously would constitute the use of deadly force. So it's all going to come down to what was the reason for the pursuit in the first place?
But all they charged him with, they charged the survivor with resisting arrest and reckless endangerment. They didn't charge him with any other felony or anything else, John. There's been a problem with guys on dirt bikes in the Bronx. They don't like it. It's not good for traffic. It's not safe. There's no question these guys shouldn't have been doing that. But the question is whether that police officer was administering the death penalty without a judge or a jury, or whether he genuinely was mistaken and had an accident, and whether he himself should be facing charges.
As he should. These guys weren't committing any felonies. They were committing traffic offenses. Otherwise, as you said, he would have been charged with it. This is what happened. These guys are nuisances, and they were a nuisance to the cop, and this is a cop who got aggravated and didn't step on the brake, Megan, and that's what bothers me the most. The cop did this on purpose, and that's not how you mete out justice. That's not what a good cop does.
Is there any chance these cops are going to face any disciplinary action?
They ought to, but already the decision has been made that they're not. Somebody should make a public outcry because they should.
Wow.
There's a dead guy and a seriously injured guy riding dirt bikes on the street in the Bronx.
We'll see what happens in the civil suit. The civil suit, hopefully the truth will come out one way or the other. Panel, great debate. Thank you so much. We'll be right back.